Dopamine, aka pleasure hormone. Especially nowadays, people talk about dopamine detox. But what's dopamine anyway? The body uses dopamine as a way to reward survival behaviors like sex or eating. Besides, dopamine is released when an individual uses addictive substances like drugs and sugar, also your phone. When we have sex, or scroll down on social media, or eat sugar, the brain produces a huge amount of dopamine. This is similar to the way the brain reacts to the ingestion of substances like heroin and cocaine. However, dopamine is not about a hormone. Actually, lack of dopamine causes laziness and lack of motivation. But then, how can we should detox at dopamine? When you watch porn or take drugs, you get a maximum amount of pleasure without effort. Your brain doesn't know it's actually physically mentally unhealthy, because your brain thinks it's necessary to survive. So we are constantly producing dopamine without survival behavior and addicted to this comfortable routine. This makes people lack of motivation, lack of purpose, lazy bastard. But the most toxic part is not your lack of discipline is creating whole this dopamine addiction. The whole society is behind this. From big companies to individuals, TV, commercials, advertisement, YouTube, and all the social media platforms, they're trying to fight your attention and to manipulate your focus and dopamine production. That's why social media rewards a creator who gets a lot of views so that they can have more exposure in algorithm. And most of the time, we get so used to it, we get so familiar with this dopamine cycle without you knowing it. And I find myself constantly on the phone because I gained 630,000 followers on TikTok and almost 200,000 followers on Instagram. And I became a content creator, and that became part of my job. I also find myself constantly receiving these instant gratification and notification on my phone. So I decided to go to this tiny beautiful island in the south of Japan called Amami Island. And most of this island is covered by a forest, and it's famous for beautiful beaches and a mangrove. So I decided to have a 7 days dopamine detox challenge in this island. The rule in this 7-day challenge is no porn, no Netflix, no drug of course, and importantly, no social media. And in this video I want to talk about how you can actually implement this dopamine detox into your life, reducing the amount of unnecessary dopamine production and navigate yourself into the best version of yourself with a solid focus. And as I started this challenge, well, this is what happened.
ごめんください。はい。ごめんください。お、なんで？こちら夕凪で合ってますか？なんでいんの？
So my best friend showed up at the door that I was staying to surprise me. Literally, I was on the session. I was literally talking with my client, and he showed up like this. Because it was right before my birthday, so I just want to say that was the best surprise I ever had in my life. So I just want to say thank you and big shout out to my brother. Love you. Instead of walking on my Instagram and TikTok, we went to diving to get in touch with nature and remind ourselves that we are part of this whole big nature. We were just two innocent kids wondering what's in this island. Alright guys, so I'm at this beach. It's called this area called Nishikomi. It's the most west side in Amami Island. It's been 4 days. Me detoxing, all the social media and so much dopamine production. It's all coming from me constantly being on the phone. It's like 4 or 5 hours a day. Physically I exist in this reality, but mentally I'm somewhere else, and I do know that I can see that I have more choices in terms of like making a small decision mentally. It is beautiful and it is so relaxing that you don't need to think, you don't need to talk. It's just like there's a silence. Even though I was living in a slow-paced life, well, at least that's what it looks like. But in my head, I was constantly thinking, what content should I make? What kind of idea should I bring on the table? How can I make it more creative? Whatever I'm thriving for, whatever I'm passionate about, I was constantly preoccupying myself instead of being in the present moment the best way I can. And to be honest, I knew it was causing me a lot of stress because I could feel that the craving of the dopamine production, especially at night. Like I could run through a day, and then at night I'm still on my laptop and on my phone at 9 p.m. I could literally feel the craving to produce the dopamine. So I'm so happy that I took time to have this opportunity to detach myself this whole unnecessary dopamine production. And it reminded me that I'm very happy where I am. So honestly, not just getting rid of all this dopamine production system, but to meditate additionally, using that spare time that you were on the phone or on the Netflix. Meditate at least 20 to 30 minutes because now you have so much time to actually use for your mental health. Because you create this whole habitual pattern in your brain if you have a certain dopamine production pattern. Like if you smoke a cigarette, that becomes a pattern. So getting rid of all this unnecessary pattern, and additionally create a new pattern such as meditation, so you can actually stay conscious and stay focused using your conscious rather than being unconscious, so that you can slowly detach yourself from this unconscious craving of dopamine. So this is the key for you to implement the dopamine detox in your life. But I highly recommend you to have a widget of the screen time so that you can literally constantly being aware that how much time you spend on this app and that app and Instagram and TikTok. And you can also limit the time that you can be on the app, and you can easily go to the setting and go to the screen time, and then you can limit the time on the social media. This simply allows you to be more aware and then realize a lot of things. Walking down the street and you might realize something. Sitting on the table with someone you love and you notice something different rather than be on your phone.
Tankan, hibiscus, shimashouga, guava.
Gotcha. Check this out. This place is beautiful. I'm so happy with this villa. It's called Miru Amami. Yesterday I had a birthday and we went to a different island, which you have to take a ferry for 20 minutes. I think I remember right, it was like 3 to 4 kilometers from the main island that I'm here. Island is known as the island with the god. Like literally, people believe that there's a god. And I met not just one god, but there was a bunch of gods. Anyway, I finished my challenge, 7 days challenge, yesterday, and I barely touched my phone. I was just out there shooting content. I was just so touched. And about dopamine detox, I've clearly had more focus, and then clearly now I have more focus, and I barely reply to people. And also as I meditated hours every day, like probably like 3 hours in total, and I feel more conscious. I feel more conscious, and I can easily bring myself back to this present moment. And every time I go unconscious, I can just consciously bring myself back to this present and start to think rationally instead of reacting emotionally. And also, I don't believe in a life-work balance, because you have to work. That's your part of your life. So the truth is, you have to take balance in unbalanced condition. And this is a skill, not relying on the environment to be changed, but it is a necessary skill for all of us to learn and then practice how to be balanced. And the essence of this skill, it comes down to how you think and how you feel and how you behave. This is only 3 things that makes up your personality. Alright guys, stay disciplined, stay beautiful. So I'm ready to my new chapter. As I aged, I turned to another age, and yeah, this is a new challenge, this is a new journey, this is a new present moment. Alright, sending love. Ciao. Live your life like a movie.